Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this session of the Veguary Vegan Pledge Program. I am so pleased to have with us some amazing Black vegan filmmakers today. And I just want to go right into reading their bios because that might take a while. They are amazing and they're doing a lot of great work. So, Jasmine Leyva is a filmmaker and actress with a Bachelor's of Arts in TV, Film, and Media, and a Master of Fine Arts in Screenwriting. She worked as an associate producer on an NAACP winning docuseries entitled Unsung, and shortly after was given the opportunity to write and produce on Being, a docuseries highlighting dynamic entertainers in film and music. She's done court shows, casted for Food Network productions, and made strides in front of the camera. She went on to star in commercials and print ads for major brands like Nissan, Sony, Apple, Uber, American Express, Diesel, Black People Meat, Credit Sesame, Michelle Watches, Elle Magazine, and more. She also starred in the Lifetime show My Crazy Ex, along with other TV projects. Happy to be doing what she loved, but simultaneously unhappy about not telling her own stories, she decided to let go of her 9 to 5 and focus on her own goals. Jasmine and Kenny Leyva produced their own feature length documentary, The Invisible Vegan, a film that chronicles Jasmine's experiences with plant based eating. The film also explains how plant based eating is directly linked to African roots and how African American eating habits have been debased by a chain of oppression stemming from slavery, economics, and modern agribusiness. Wow. And then we have John Lewis, who is an international public speaker, serial entrepreneur, wellness advocate, activist for the wellness of all living beings, film producer, and director. At the young age of 13, John found himself at 315 pounds, but through hard work and dedication, he lost weight and excelled in football and basketball. He continued his streak of athletic excellence throughout his high school and college years, with a full ride scholarship to Harris Stowe State College. Graduating with a bachelor's degree in marketing, he later went on to pursue his MBA from Nova Southwestern University in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. John's education in business, coupled with his love for health and fitness, gave him the ability to start his venture, Badass Vegan, a health and nutrition company that strives to educate individuals on plant based nutrition. John's love for his community brought forth the brainchild of Vegan Smart, a plant based protein shake company with a foundation whose mission is to prevent obesity through education, physical activity, and plant based nutrition. As a well renowned fitness expert, John Lewis has spent over 2 decades in the health and fitness industry and played Division I college basketball. John is highly passionate about not only his own health and fitness, but that of others as well. And this is evident through his motivational messages, either through his international public speaking engagements or simply through his social media outlets. Today, John has taken his passion for health and is now directing his first feature length documentary focused on food and social justice. John has teamed up with the maker of the award winning What the Health to create their own joint venture, They're Trying to Kill Us. Wowee. So thank you both so much. I know you're both like extremely busy and have so much going on. So this is such a privilege, to be able to share everything that you're doing and your words of wisdom with our pledges. So I'm going to jump right in to the questions. I have a lot of questions for you today. So I wanted to ask both of you in turn, how long have you been interested in filmmaking?
Well, me personally, ever since I was young. So I was that 6, 7 year old that used to watch movies and then analyze them and go, oh, I would do this different and that different. And then I was writing plays in the 4th grade. And so it's just always been a thing for me. I went to college for it. I lived it, breathed it. That was my career. It's just always been what I loved.
Wow. Okay.
I could definitely say it was at a younger age for me too. And like I was a Lego maniac. I know it sounds funny, but I would like make scenes in my head and like I would play out these movie scenes in my head. And even though I wanted to always get into it, and this is something I want to get us all out of, we tend to get sidetracked by other people's voices you know, like I always wanted to get in the film, but people like, man, like, you know, the rate that you might not even make it in the film, you know. So I was like, all right, business, like let's go, you know. So we get sidetracked. And I think we're finally coming to the day and age where it's like, no, you want to go for that? Go for it. It's gonna be work, but go for it. And I grew up, I was in that era where they were like, nah, man, film, that ain't where you want to go. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a 0.0001 chance that you're gonna make it. And now it's like, no, even with that, and I'm sure Jasmine, she felt that, like, and I give her props for that, for like living through that mission of hers and that dream. Like, all right, you could have probably told her you got that 0.1000 chance. She would have been like, okay, I'm still going. Like me, I was like, well, shoot, I guess this is it is. Like, so I always wanted to do it, but I'm glad I came full circle back around to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, both of you, for that. So what inspired you? Jasmine, I read a little bit about how you wanted to tell your own story in your bio. And so, but like, was there something that inspired you to want to tell your own story through film?
Oh, so when I went vegan, I was trying to put a lot of my black friends on, and they weren't having it. They were like, "Oh, you moved to LA, so now you eating like they eat in Hollywood. Now you on this white people stuff." And I was just like, "Why don't they get it? Why don't they see this is not like a white people thing?" And then I looked at how it was marketed, and I looked at all these great documentaries, What the Health, The Educated, just all of them, amazing. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take What the Health out of that. I'm gonna put Food Inc., Cowspiracy, What the Health, Educated, as a collective, all phenomenal films that I would even credit to inspiring and informing my work. But as a collective, you do see mostly white people in the forefront. So I'm like, this is how veganism is marketed. This is why I'm not able to reach the people that I love and care about, who happen to come from a community where degenerative diseases are hitting them the hardest. So since I already had a film in background, I'm like, yo, people don't want to listen to a debate and an argument at a dinner table, but people are willing to sit around and watch a film where you have Cedric the Entertainer throwing jokes. So that's what kind of inspired me to use my craft to deliver a message I thought was very important and timely.
John, was there anything that
uh,
inspired you?
yeah, it was my community again, my family as well. But you know, just looking at the bigger community, like I looked at so many hopeless people, and I was like, wait a minute, like I'm over here happy and thriving, but I see so many people that are hopeless, but then they don't see that they can change. You know, like the conditioning. I always say the best brainwashing is when the person doesn't even know they've been brainwashed. And
Mm,
so like I see a lot of people get hit with like this. Well, I can't change. I gotta have my protein. It's like, okay, well there is other protein out there. You know that, right? Like so, but I felt like I had to go back to them to do it, and film was the way to do it because a lot of times when we turn vegan, we're like, hey, I'm over here in vegan land. Y'all should come on over here. But we don't go back to lend out a hand. So I was like, well, we got to go meet them where they are. So let's give them a film. If they at home watching TV, let's go give them that TV. If they at home reading books, which they should do that too, but we don't really do that much, let's give them that book. You know, like whatever they doing, let's meet them where they're at. And so that's where the film came about.
mm-hmm. Okay, so um, in the making of the film itself, what were the goals that you were trying to achieve in the film? Like, did you have specific goals that you were trying to achieve?
Well, I think one thing that's dope about a documentary is you're doing some investigative journalism. So if you're good at what you do, while you're on this journey, you should be learning things for yourself.
Mm,
So I think that was one of the things that kind of happened for me, that I really took from this project. Because even the animal rights portion of veganism, I'm not gonna lie, when I first made the film, that wasn't a big thing for me. I looked at the animals, I'm like, ah, that's unfortunate, but I wasn't like, I'm doing this for the animals. That's one of the core reasons. But talking to people of color and having them break down the animal justice movement for me in a way that was relatable and applicable to like my concerns as a Black woman, then I was like, oh yeah, this is something that I should put on my list of concerns.
mm,
So that was something that I learned while doing my project.
okay. And then, John, did you have any specific goals when you set out?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to piss people off. That was
Mm.
like the whole idea. Like
Mhm.
the people don't change until they pissed off. Like think about it. Any relationship you in, like you'll take a whole lot of crap from somebody until you get pissed off. Until you get to that point, like, oh, this person really don't give a damn about me. All right, well then I gotta change now. And that was my thing. Like I wanted to get them to see, like, no, no, no. I know you hear rumors that they don't care. I want you to see they really don't care about you. Like they don't
Mhm.
care. But they left this little hole where if you go over here, you can actually get out of this matrix. You don't have to stay in it. But I think, like I said, we've been so conditioned to believe like this is the only way.
Yeah, and so I screened both of your films before release, and I gotta say that people were a lot more inspired than pissed off leaving both film screenings. So
That's
I
good.
gotta tell you, I mean, like probably while they were watching certain things, they might have been pissed off, but walking out the
Yeah.
door, people were smiling, people were, inspired, people have gone vegan because of of those screenings. So I just
Good.
wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
So okay, back on track here. Why do you think that Black representation is so important in vegan themed films?
because it's the truth. When when you have white people in charge of the film industry, because for the most part, now it's getting more diverse, but they were running it for the longest time. They like to create these worlds where no one exists. They like to create these worlds where it's just white people with a certain body type of a certain class, and it's like that is a lie. So when
Hmm.
you put out something where you are talking about plant-based eating and health, and you make it seem like Black people haven't contributed anything to that
Yeah.
movement, it's like you are selling a lie, not only aesthetically, but even intellectually. It's a lie.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. And for me, it was just veganism's the same thing. It's been so whitewashed that to even mention it, like you'll hear it. Like I'm sure all three of us have heard, oh, that's that white thing. Oh, you went vegan? Oh, dude, that's that white thing. Like, and the crazy part is, I don't think a lot of white people understand that. So a lot of times they're like, well, why don't they just go vegan? I don't care if they live in the hood and this and that. It's like, no, you don't understand the levels and levels and levels and years and years and years of the image portrayed as, oh, that's a white thing. You lose
Hmm.
your blackness. You ain't this. Failing to realize that if you go back to Native Americans and people of West Africa, predominantly plant based, like people like to think that, oh man, if you go back to Africa, and I've heard this, you go back to Africa, they eat meat all the time. I was like, yeah, that's because after the world was westernized and they brought it back to them, they started eating it all day, every day. You gotta remember people that they weren't out there with AKs and machine guns hunting back in the day. They had either a bow and arrow, a spear, or whatever you could come up with, and they success rate wasn't 100%. Like it was a lot of times they went out there like, we ain't getting nothing today. How about them yams? Like that's
Hmm.
it. So that's what they failed to realize. Like that was a ceremonial thing almost, like a once a month, every 3 weeks, like not every day. You know what I'm saying? And then now we've progressed. Like I want to show people, like, I understand that Black people have gone through a lot of trauma, but that doesn't mean we have to inflict trauma on anything else in order for us to thrive. And I think that a lot of times they get that, because I understand when Black people get pissed when people try to compare it to slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like I see that all the time. It's like, yes, that is a form of slavery, but if you're using that as your basis to win an argument, but you don't speak up for the descendants of slavery, you full of shit. Sorry if anybody's watching it, but it's true. It's true. It is. It's like, how you gonna use slavery as, oh, I'm gonna win this debate by comparing it to slavery, but you ain't never spoke up about slavery and the descendants and the aftermath of slavery. Just because slavery ended didn't mean that they made it illegal in people's hearts and minds to still be racist.
Mm.
They passed that down year after year after year. So we have to show that Black representation to show other people, hey, it's okay, man. I know we went through this trauma, but the only way for us to end the generational trauma is us to be the generation to do it.
Mm, yes, that is so powerful. Thank you.
Sorry, I
So
get a little too into it.
so no, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure the folks watching appreciate it as well. And then in terms of like bringing in Black celebrities, Jasmine, you had said something about like Cedric the Entertainer and like he's telling jokes and stuff. How influential do the two of you think that Black vegan celebrities are when they're featured in these Black films or these vegan films, I should say?
So I would say, I want to say sadly, but I don't want to judge celebrities in that way. But decades ago, I feel like the Black community had more notable Black heroes in their communities. Like you had your like Malcolm X's and your Martin Luther Kings, like you had your people to follow. Nowadays, I don't really see that in our community where we have like strong leaders that we're all on board to like, hey, these are the people that we can look up to. Now that has kind of fallen on celebrities. Like everybody, they're looking at what is Cardi B doing? What is Kim Kardashian doing? And so that's why, even though I don't really like that our culture is moved that way, you have to, like what John said, you have to meet people where they are. So if they want to follow celebrities, it's just a matter of common sense to bring in celebrities to try to promote something you want to catch on in the current culture, because that's just where we're at.
Is that your experience, John?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I knew for a fact, like people ask, why did I use hip hop? And I tell everybody, hip hop is the number one genre of all times. And if you don't understand that, I say if you close your eyes, you can envision 6-foot white dudes on ice skates with Jay-Z in the background. And that's the National Hockey League. And that's probably one of the most whitest sports you're gonna find. You know what I'm saying? But it's influential and everybody pays attention to it. So that's where we went with it. Like, yeah, if they're not gonna pay attention to just me and a couple of my vegan friends, they would have been like, oh, that's a cool story. But
Yeah.
all right, 20 minutes in, like, okay, cool, that was good. But I knew if I had the star power, as they say, to represent, and it also helps too, because I'm sure with Jasmine's film as well, I get a lot of times people like, man, I didn't even know they were vegan. Like, so that kind of helps out too. Like, dang, they vegan? Okay. And it kind of gets them like, well, I don't like you that much, but if they vegan, I might. John Sally might be okay. I don't know about you, dude, but
Yeah, that's definitely been my experience. People were like, I'm sorry, who are you? Like, I need to meet me some celebrities. Uh, so, Jasmine, what has been the feedback that you've gotten from people from our community after watching The Invisible Vegan?
In our community, the Black community or the vegan community?
Oh, the Black community. Yeah, like which one? The Black community.
Oh, the Black community. Yes, it's been very well received. A lot of my friends who I thought wouldn't even entertain plant-based eating, they were like, hey, I might not go all the way vegan, but I'm gonna try this, meatless Mondays. So it definitely planted a seed for a lot of people. And that was my goal. Like it wasn't to, oh, you gotta turn vegan overnight after you watch my film. That wasn't that's a wish, but it wasn't necessarily the goal. Like I just wanted to be that, hey, look, veganism doesn't have to be this kind of controlling thing. It doesn't have to be this white thing, this elitist thing, this expensive thing. It can be something for us, by us. And that was just the seed that I wanted to plant.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it with the FUBU on them.
Right. And then John, what kind of reception have you gotten from the private screening of They're Trying to Kill Us?
Shockingly, like very receptive, actually. And I say that because I was like, all right, I do know a couple people here, but I just want to see. We did our little surveys, and a lot of people were very open and like, like I never looked at it like this, but this changed my mind. Like Jasmine said, people that I just never would have thought even would have looked at veganism were like, okay, dude, we need to talk. Like, I need to change, And that was the thing. And my thing also, yeah, I want everybody to go vegan. cool. But I do understand it's going to be a process, and everybody is on a different path. You know, I always say we all on the same highway, just in different lanes. Like whatever your lane is, as long as you get to the destination, that's all that matters. And I always say that I just want to be the seed. Like I don't have to be the person to watch it grow all the way. I think sometimes as black people and as vegans, we got this mind frame like, no, 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 I'm the one that made you go vegan. I'm that one that put that in your mind. I'm the one that made you grow it. Like, no, no, no. Sometimes we just the one that planted the seed. Somebody else waters it, somebody else cultivates it, somebody else plows it, somebody else actually makes it into the food, but we all gotta step in that process to help. And sometimes we might not even be the seed, we might be the water. So my thing is like wherever they are in their life, I just want to enhance wherever they are to build upon that to move in the right direction. I don't want nobody to see my film and just be like, well, no, I definitely ain't doing that now. And I don't want credit that I made you go vegan. Like I'm sure you get it too, Jazz. Deborah, I'm sure you get it. Like people like, oh my God, I went vegan because of you. I'm like, no, no, no. Give yourself credit. You went vegan because of you. I was just there to witness the greatness. Like you did that. Like whatever you did, you still have to make that action. So that's what I want it to be, and the reception has been more of like, thank you, man, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I can say definitely like in screening both films that people have followed back up. Um, both times people follow back up and were like, I'm vegan now, So I mean, I really wish I think, we should start collecting these stories because that would be really helpful, for the next folks coming through. But for sure,
Yeah.
these films like these are making a difference for sure. Like I just in my work, I see it a lot. um, have either of you faced any resistance to your films?
So my face answers questions. So yes, yes. So okay. So the thing about, and I mean now this is with every. I feel like we're in a world where everyone is just too attached to their opinions. Like everyone feels the need to like. Everyone's a film critic, so I even have people like DMing me like, "You should have done this," and it's just like,
No.
but like a lot of God bless the animal rights community. God bless them. Their hearts are in such a great place. I'm so glad they have so much compassion for the animals. However, they need to work on their compassion for human beings at times. Some percentage of that group. And like they watch the film, and because it didn't center around animals, it's like, your film doesn't embody the philosophy of veganism. And I have to explain to them, hey, I catered my film to the Black demographic. And I get that you're in a privileged place where the condition of the cows is your number one priority. But in my community, someone's grandmother's diabetes kind of trumps the conditions of the chicken. I understand that upsets you, but that is the reality. And that's how I, kind of formatted my film to my demographic. Everything can't be formatted for, certain audiences. So that's kind of the kickback that's been the most popular.
And at the end of the day, guess what? If they ain't eating animals, the animals don't care if it's because of a disease, because you love them, because you just had this change of heart. You like that? They like, and I tell people this is how I break it down. It's just like police not killing black people. We don't care why you don't do it, as long as you don't do it. Like we're not sitting around like that police didn't kill that black kid because he had a change of heart. No, we don't care. As long as they didn't do it. And it's the same way with animals. The ego is a human thing. We're the ones so concerned, like, oh, you're not raw till midnight, and you like all these different categories of veganism that we throw on it, and it's all human ego. At the end of the day, if less animals are being killed, I don't care why they went vegan. I don't care. Like, just leave them alone.
And you both did a great job of looking at all the different, areas and all the different perspectives and all the different reasons, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like you only like focused in on one tiny particular thing. So honestly, it sounds like some people are just never gonna be happy. And it's like,
Salty.
what can you what can you do, right?
Yeah.
Would either one of you like to talk about what's next? I mean, like, folks are curious, like, what's going, I mean, it's a pandemic, so that's obviously what's next right now, more pandemic. But, is there anything exciting on the horizon? Anything that you would feel comfortable talking about?
So I started work on a documentary about food disorders. And I already did like the first shoot for that. And I chose it it was inspired from being in the vegan space. Because since I'm advocating for this type of eating, I'm like, yo, people can take this to a very obsessive place where they're so caught up. Like, I feel like there's this whole anxiety around food in the vegan movement. And I want to make sure that I'm not kind of perpetuating that anxiety and
Mm,
showing people what food disorders also look like. Like, it's not just, again, it's not just the white girl with anorexia. Like, sometimes it's the Black man who might look like John, but if he's in the gym obsessively for 4 hours and like going crazy over his meals, it's like that's a food disorder as
Hey,
well.
don't be talking about me like that. Don't talk about me like that.
he said, "Don't be putting his business on the street."
See people like they do. They see people like me and John, and they associate, uh, just health and beauty. They associate health with their idea of beauty. And I want to show people like, no, you can look like me, you can look like John, you can be a size 6 and still be struggling with your relationship with food. So just to kind of tackle that and how it looks when people of color are suffering from it.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. Wow, that is really fascinating. So just stay in touch if, because John, I totally missed, you were doing like a big like a fundraising drive at one point. I
Oh
think it was
yeah,
a while
yeah,
back,
yeah.
and I totally missed it. Like I
It's
don't know
all
if I just
good.
wasn't on social media or something. Well, I try not to be, but it sucks me
Yeah.
in, y'all. It sucks me in.
It's a part of it's a part of doing business at this point. Like social media, people don't realize it. Like I'm not on here. I ain't trying to meet nobody. I love y'all, but I ain't trying to meet nobody.
Right.
I ain't trying to I'm here because one, to advocate health of all living beings, like I say, and two, it's a business at the same time. Like so I have to be on there. I
Right.
have to be engaging. People always say, "How'd you get so many followers?" I'm like, well, first of all, I don't look at them as followers. It's like a tribe thing. And second of all, I'm just me. Like I'm
Mm.
not. I don't go through a strategic plan. Like if I post at 7 and I post about this at 7, and then no, no, no. It's just you got to be on there to survive at this point. And it's just what message are you putting out?
Well, I definitely wanted, and I want to hear from you, John, what you have coming up as well. But I just wanted to put it out there that if you have stuff like that, where either it's fundraising drives or like just trying to get the word out about what you're doing, let me know. Let Afro Vegan Society know because we will definitely signal boost like whatever y'all are doing from our platform always.
Appreciate it.
So
Appreciate it.
just definitely let us know. So
Yeah.
John, anything like that we should be excited about, like got any time frames for us?
So much, man. So officially, we start shopping the film around this month to
Mm,
networks. Because next week it'll be literally finished. We've been working on the color and the surround sound and all that stuff, and now it'll be done. Besides that, I did have somebody buy my book, which that
mm,
was good. A
mm.
publisher, a
Okay.
large publisher. Yeah, crazy. It's crazy. It's been a crazy road. I'm just trying to stay head down. I'm humble. I'm just chilling. But like, definitely an offer I couldn't even like. This is how good the offer was. I'm not gonna say numbers, but I remember coming out of the gym. I was in the mountains of North Carolina, just with the family. We were getting away, and so there's no reception, no Wi-Fi, and so the gym let me use their Wi-Fi. I'm walking out of the gym to my car, and the phone goes off, And the funny thing is, I always keep my ringer off, everything. That's why when you hit me up there, it ain't, I'm not ignoring you. I never, because it just goes off too much. And it goes off, and I look down and I read the email from my book agent, and it says, I got some great news. They just offered blah, blah, blah. And I'm in the car, like, I'm by myself, and I'm like, oh, yeah, mother. Like, I'm like, because people thought I was crazy when I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to call it Badass Vegan. I got this company idea, and I'm going to call it Badass Vegan. People are like, you crazy. What are you thinking? All that. I'm like, so it was like a shout out to them. And I called my mom FaceTime. And I'm still in this tough mind frame. I'm talking about as soon as she picked up FaceTime, I start bawling like a little kid. And of course, as a mom, I'm freaking her out now because she's like, "Why is my baby crying on this FaceTime?" And you know, like when you was a kid and you got that whooping and you couldn't get the words out, it was like. So I'm like, it's okay, mama. They like, and she. So the book is coming out 2022. I'm still writing now. I actually had a call with I have an assistant writer because like I'm a writer, but to get that book format, you know, it's got to be a certain way. So I do have some help with that. Also got the fitness program launches next month actually. And then I'm working on the supplement line, which is going to be nothing but straight up like my vitamins and minerals. That's it. I'm not trying to do like, you know, fat loss, weight loss. No, just like stuff that you need along your journey to help you out, you know. And my protein powder is going to be like void of sugar. Like I'm getting rid of like, you know, processed cane sugar or whatever the case is. Cause I just know how, like you talked about addiction. Like I was obese as a kid. I still have a sugar addiction. And, you know, I always say the only way to kind of overcome that is to admit that you were once an addict. That's the only way you're going to get over it. If we addicted to meat, you can't get over it until one day you like, you know what? I'm addicted to this and I got to break this addiction and break this habit. So that's what's coming up. And I have so like my god sister is Dr. Sabi's daughter. So we've been working on the formulas together for it to be, yeah. She's actually in the film. You might have saw like Dr. Sabi's daughter, yeah. So that's like my girl from way back. I just never like used to brag on like, you know, Dr. Sabi's like family to me because you know people always name drops. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. I think that's all I got. I think that's all I'm working on.
Is that all? Wow. So exciting stuff. Please.
And working on this because she had to. I don't know why she want reindeer ears on right now. I don't know what's going on.
Why wouldn't anybody want reindeer ears? I mean,
she's been sitting over here for like the last 10 minutes, like double dutch.
Oh wow!
Like double dutch. She wanted to come in.
No, I want to be Rudolph.
You want to be Rudolph? Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Just just to follow up, how can people, follow you? How can people find you? Like not in person, like nothing creepy, but like, just like online on social media. How can they support your work? All of that. Jasmine.
Okay. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I have a website, so theinvisiblevegan.com.
Okay.
There it is.
All right. John?
Same with me. I'm under Badass Vegan, pretty much everything from Instagram. I think I even got a Pinterest account at some point. Like it's out there. Well, no, this is my thing. And Jazz, I'm going to tell you this. Like, so I just started literally like any new platform that came out, I would always snatch up my name because I didn't want anybody out there misrepresenting my name. So on TikTok, I got Badass Vegan, but I got one video up there. But I just wanted to have it in case somebody came with some, bull and like start putting meat up under Badass Vegan, whatever. I didn't want that because I had somebody, and I don't like giving out negative. I don't like giving publicity to nobody, but it was somebody that came up with like Badass Vegan and another word, like page, but they were vegan, but they were like harassing people, like going on pages like you ain't this and you ain't that. And so people were coming to me like, oh, so now you quiet. You was all on my page. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. Who are you? Oh, now you want to act like you don't know me. I'm like, I don't. I don't know you. So then come to find out, it was this page, and of course, those people don't apologize to you once they like have gone off on you. They just like, do a better job with your name. I had a name first. Like, it ain't, like, what you want me to do? I'm sorry. So yeah, I make sure on every platform, Badass Vegan, Twitter, everything, and then the new website, Badass Vegan Fitness, will be launching in March as well. So, but Badass Vegan is already up there.
Wow, thank y'all. I really appreciate, you coming on and with
I
everything that you're
appreciate it.
doing and have going on. And I'm sure that our pledges have had, a good time and really learned a lot from you. And so just great luck with everything, that you
Thank
have
you.
coming up. And let's stay in touch.
Definitely. And I would have came no matter what, but knowing that Jazz is here, I feel like her and I have probably done a good 6 or 7 now.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Wow.
So I'm definitely.
like panel buddies.
Yeah. As soon as I see that name on the list, like, oh yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
Okay.
that's awesome. Okay.
No,
Cause
but
I know if anybody else in there, we the two that's gonna keep it real. Like
Mm-hmm.
like.
This is the realest panel I've done so far, to be honest. Jasmine, were you gonna say something?
no, I was just gonna say to you, thank you so much for putting this together and having us. Because even though I'm the filmmaker, like I try to make it very clear, like I'm not really the one on the front lines. Like I talk about this stuff, but I'm not really the one in the communities doing this type of work.
Yeah.
You deserve, that praise and that space. So thank you so much for doing everything you do, because it's what helped me create what I created. So thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
It's that highway. I said everybody got their lane. You just in the
Yes.
fast lane.
Wait a minute.
Me and Jazz over here in the slow lane. We watching you go by. We
Just exhausted. I'm just tired as hell. Wow. Thank y'all. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. For sure.
And
Definitely.
thank you all so much for tuning in to this session of Veguary. And we'll see you next time.